This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
A Warden man found in possession of stolen firearms following a police chase from Moses Lake to Warden has pleaded guilty to a federal charge.
There is a disturbing pattern emerging among those who bravely risk life and limb to fight wildfires.
These beavers are swimming comfortably now in the decommissioned pools of the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery. But just a few days ago, they were gnawing on Ken Sinclair's willow trees.
The Quincy Public Market is still fairly new, but it finally saw the soft opening of its biggest attraction, Jack's Restaurant, on Tuesday.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
A Warden man found in possession of stolen firearms following a police chase from Moses Lake to Warden has pleaded guilty to a federal charge. Michael Castorana pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court to possession of stolen firearms. A charge of felon in possession of firearms was dismissed as part of a plea agreement. On June 5th of last year, Moses Lake Police and the U.S. Marshals Violent Offender Task Force received information Castorana, wanted on felony warrants, was at a home in the Terrace area of Moses Lake. Castorana was seen getting into a Dodge Charger and fled from an attempted traffic stop. Spike strips were used several times during the chase as Castorana continued onto State Route 17 heading south. Several U.S. Marshals attempted to box Castorana in and get him to stop, but dashcam video shows Castorana's vehicle collide with the back of a Marshal's pickup truck. Castorana continued onto State Route 170 toward Warden, eventually coming to a stop in a neighborhood and fleeing on foot, where he was bit by Canine Chief before being arrested. Police found 4 pistols, 3 of which were stolen, along with meth and heroin in Castorana's car. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
There is a disturbing pattern emerging among those who bravely risk life and limb to fight wildfires. According to officials with the National Interagency Fire Center in Boise, Idaho, there has been a marked increase in the number of wildland firefighter suicides in recent years. Statistics specific to wildland firefighter suicides are not available since federal agencies often exclusively track fatalities which take place in the line of duty, and the families of many survivors don't disclose this information publicly. Although there are no apparent reasons for the increase, some believe it is due to the onset of longer and tougher fire seasons, while others suggest some wildland firefighters might already be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder since many have previously served in the military.
Wildland firefighting is and can be a stressful profession. It's a profession where you work long hours, you're away from home, and then also wildland firefighters can experience trauma in some cases. They can witness some very stressful things that can cause PTSD, such as seeing homes burn down, seeing people lose their homes. Some firefighters have seen a coworker be killed or experienced a fatality on the fire line. Any of these factors can combine to create an issue with wildland firefighter suicide.
In recent years, the NIFC has honed its own program which educates wildland firefighters on how to cope with the stress surrounding their job and also offering crisis intervention services as well.
Wildland firefighting agencies are working on several things. For one, we've created a mental health subcommittee. The subcommittee is looking at how we can provide more resources for wildland firefighters and provide the mental health support that they need. There's also the Employee Assistance Program. That's a program that wildland firefighters can use to obtain mental health care or mental health assistance at no cost. We're also looking at providing other materials and making sure that these materials are available even in remote locations, such as on the actual fire line.
At the same time, other federal agencies have also increased their efforts to support the mental health of wildland firefighters in light of the developing uptick in suicide rates among their ranks. Reporting for iFIBER 1 News, I'm Chris Hansen.
This segment is brought to you by
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
These beavers are swimming comfortably now in the decommissioned pools of the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery. But just a few days ago, they were gnawing on Ken Sinclair's willow trees on the Columbia River south of Rock Island.
No, we used to spend all our time under this tree. It had a huge, big canopy.
Not so much anymore. Beavers have girdled the tree and several others on Sinclair's riverbank property, even moving into his cherry orchard. So Ken called Cody Gillen, program manager with Trout Unlimited's Wenatchee Entiat Beaver Project.
We take a nuisance beaver and relocate it to a suitable location much higher in the watershed. One of our biggest project partners, landowner partners, is the Forest Service, but we have other public and private landowners as well that have supported us in our relocation efforts.
The Beaver Project is in its second year and has so far taken 20 nuisance beavers from private shoreline property and moved them to wilder habitat up the Wenatchee River watershed. At Sinclair's property, field crew lead Tessa Smith and field intern Serena Nozawa set 3 non-lethal traps just past the waterline. Then bait them with branches and beaver gland scent. The next morning, they've got 2 subadult beavers, a male and female, waiting patiently for their next stop. That's a concrete raceway at the hatchery, where project workers have set up temporary beaver habitat. The transfer usually goes easy, unless an animal decides to prematurely nudge her cage door open. Beavers run in family groups, so it takes multiple trappings to clear out a shoreline where they're active. Once all are gathered, there's an acclimation period at the hatchery, followed by a move to a new upriver home, farther away from conflicts with humans. Once there, the hope is they'll carry on with the kind of brush clearing and dam building that helps maintain stable populations of wild fish.
In a dry desert environment, beavers are creating little pockets of extremely biodiverse wetland habitat in an otherwise really dry environment. And that is essential for many, many plants and animals that live around here. And Trout Unlimited got involved in this project, mostly targeting, of course, those sensitive salmonids, salmon and trout that are listed under the Endangered Species Act.
The Wenatchee Entiat Beaver Project is overseen through Trout Unlimited's Wenatchee office, with aid from a dozen partner agencies. Nuisance encounters with beavers are usually more common in spring, but if your property is being affected, call the program at 888-0970. Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
The Quincy Public Market is still fairly new, but it finally saw the soft opening of its biggest attraction, Jack's Restaurant, on Tuesday. The new restaurant is still in the early stages of its development, with additions still to come, including signage. Jack's Restaurant is a restaurant/bar that has family and bar seating with several TVs that are playing sports. The menu consists of what you'd expect from an establishment of its kind, complete with burgers, sandwiches, pizza, steak, salad, desserts, and a lengthy alcohol menu. Owner Larry Jones says that the menu will continue to grow as they get their feet set, with a seafood menu in the works. The in-house brewery is still getting on its feet as well, and draft beers made right there in the public market will become available as the brewery continues to come together. The current spirits menu is still very diverse, especially for the area. Jones hopes to create a pleasant environment where people can drink, eat, and socialize outside of the rowdy bar scene. Jack's Restaurant can be found on the east end of the Quincy Public Market, which is located in Quincy at 1004 F Street on the west side of town. I'm Adam Jakoski for iFIBER 1 News.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at ifiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.